I was searching on YouTube to find people from Pakistan who are in Canada who've talked about their journey of how they became successful, and I was surprised that I couldn't find anybody. No one was talking about it. All the videos were about how I got my PR in Canada, how I am as an international student in Canada, but no one who's actually become successful. Or maybe people's metric of success was very different, where people will find a job and that would qualify as success. Now that might be your metric of what success means to you, but for me, success is more than just having a job. So I figured, you know what, I'm from Pakistan, I want to make content for people from my country as well, and I want to show people how I became successful in very little time, so you can as well. If this is the first time you're watching my videos, my name is Yasser, born and raised in Pakistan. Now I earn a full-time income from YouTube. I made $150,000 in the last 12 months in my first year of business, and I want to teach you how you can do the same thing as an immigrant in Canada. Don't let my accent fool you. This is something that I've learned being here for 5 years. I used to sound very Pakistani, so a lot of people are like, where are you born in Canada? No, I'm from Pakistan, born and raised. To give you a nutshell of what my journey was like, I came here to do my Master's of Education, and I went to a not so top tier university because I quite frankly could not afford UBC and University of Toronto, all of those places. And I went there fully knowing this is it. My dad was like, listen, this is the final bit of money I have. If this doesn't work out, I don't know what we're going to do. So I was on a deadline. I had to find a way to work. Now, I came to Canada as a very anxious person, as someone who didn't have any skill sets, someone who didn't really have any talents. But what I did know was I needed to make this work. So the moment I landed in Canada, the first thing I did was I looked up all the things that I could do in my area, and one of the things that popped up was a public speaking club. Now, at the time, I was frightened to death of public speaking. But I showed up anyway, and I went again, and I went again, and I went again, and I got really good, and I got so good so fast, in fact, that I won a couple of local championships for public speaking. And then I really began to see that, I really like teaching people. I like teaching people to overcome these confidence barriers that they have. Let me just do that. So I switched from my MBA to a Master's of Education program. And during my time in university, I started doing free workshops teaching people how to do public speaking, how to get better at public speaking, how to get better at class presentations. And I even won an award that actually paid for a part of my tuition, without which, quite frankly, I would have dropped out because I ran out of money at that time. Finished my education, got a very expensive degree, a Master's of Education, and I didn't know how to find a job. Because to be a teacher in Canada, you need a certification, and you get that certification if you've done your bachelor. I already did my bachelor's in Malaysia, so I was like, I can't go back and do my bachelor's again. So there I was with a very expensive degree, and I didn't know what to do. So the first thing I did was I found a job at a hair salon, sweeping the floor and working as a receptionist. That's what I did for the first 7 months after graduating with a master's degree. Eventually, I realized this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I should probably do something else. I started applying for other jobs, and I got a job as a recruiter. I was helping companies find employees. During this time, I was learning what it's like to be on the inside of a company. What do they look for? What are immigrants doing? What are international students doing that are costing them these job opportunities? So I took all of that information, started making YouTube videos on how to find a job in Canada, and a lot of people started reaching out to me for help. So on the side, I launched my own career coaching business, helping people. And over time, I decided I'm not really passionate about career coaching. What I'm really passionate about is business and sales development. So instead, I began helping other career coaches how to start their business, career coaching other people. And then career coaches were like, can you help my friend who's a stylist? Can you help my friend who's a calligrapher? And now I help just about anybody who has a business, who has a skill set that they want to teach other people online and do whatever the heck they want. So I've been able to go from a job at a hair salon to a job as a recruiter to my own business making $150,000, all in a span of a year and a half. I want to teach you 3 things that you must do here in order to be successful. And by successful, I don't mean just getting a job. I mean truly free in your career, where you can do whatever you want, make your own decisions, and be an entrepreneur. Number 1 is you really have to outwork the locals. Listen, you're coming here, you don't have any network, you don't really know anybody, and most people who come from Pakistan, they go and find other people from Pakistan and they just hang out with them, right? Just because there's familiarity, there's comfort there, they speak the same language, similar culture, and they don't expand their network. And a lot of the reasons why they're not successful is specifically because of that. Realize people who are growing up here, local Canadian people, have friends here, teachers here, they grew up here, they know people here, so you need to work extra hard to make your network from scratch. This also ties into one of the biggest principles I can teach you is be very specific about who you become friends with. You don't want to become friends with people who party all the time, who don't really have any ambitions in life, who just want to drink beer and play video games, if those are going to be your friends, then you're not going to be very successful. So I went out of my way to say no to opportunities of going to clubs and bars and all of that. I went out of my way to ignore certain groups of people, even though they were the cool kids in school, because I wanted to be rich, I wanted to be successful, and I sought out people who were doing well. So if you're in college, if you're in university, find mentors, find people who are really successful, maybe your professors, go to LinkedIn, look up someone you admire, reach out to them. You really have to go and connect with people. If you want to know how to network, I have a bunch of videos on my YouTube channel as well you can check out. If you want more help, leave some questions in the comments and I'll make a video to help you network in Canada. I can't stress this enough. Please network with people who are successful, who are ambitious, who are at least on the right track. The more people you surround yourself with who are leeches of energy, the longer it will take you to be successful, and it's also going to affect how you determine what success is. If someone else says, oh, I'm really successful because I have a $40,000 job, that might be your level of success, what you aspire to be. That's going to be your ceiling. This really changed for me when I started my coaching business because I was really happy making $4,000, $5,000 a month, where people in my mastermind were making $10,000, $20,000 a month. And I was like, I don't want to make this much money for the rest of my life. I want to make more money. And that's how I began exploring other business niches, and that's how my business really grew. Number two is tied into this. It's develop a skill set. Any skill set, you need to be good at something. You need to get experience at something. Maybe you can experiment with a bunch of different fields, experiment with marketing, experiment with sales, experiment with persuasion, all those things. See what you really like doing and then go down and develop that skill. Without a skill set, it's really difficult to be good at business. You need to be good at something if you're going to be providing a service to somebody. Not only is this going to help you find a job, but it's also going to help you run a business, because if you're running a business, you need business skills, you need sales skills, you need to know how to generate revenue, you need to know how to develop business, all these different things. You need to have those skills. And if you come to Canada and you find a job that doesn't really help you develop any of those skills and you're there for 5 years, you're going to be stuck in those golden handcuffs where yes, you have money coming in, but there's no growth. So really focus on high profit skills. For me, if you have the skill of going out there, getting clients, going out there, getting people to pay you, you will never die broke. It's impossible. If you have the skill of getting money from people, you can die broke. Now, a more cultural point I want to mention, and this might be a little bit, some people might be offended by this, but don't listen to your parents, okay? Don't listen to your parents. A lot of people from Pakistan, they try to tell their kids to go in very traditional fields, go into accounting, go into this, go into that, because it's safe, there's no risk involved. But guess what? If there's no risk, there's no reward. There's safe careers, but a lot of times what happens is you're in a safe career, even though you don't like it, you never make enough money. Eventually you reach your ceiling where you don't want to learn anything more after that, and you kept doing that over and over again up until a point where you're bored and you don't feel fulfilled in your life. And you can't really blame your parents for it, because back in their days, that's kind of all they did. They found a low-risk career, they chased that career, and they want the same for their kids. But if you truly want to be successful, there's only so much money you can make with $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year. You need to take more risks, you need to invest, you need to start your own business so you can really bring in more money. And sometimes that means putting on your big boy pants, your big girl pants, making your own decisions. Don't let your parents make your decisions. I know people from my country who are 25, 30, 35, 40 years old, whose parents are still running their entire life. At what point do you decide, I'm my own person, I know my industry, I know my generation, I can make my own decisions and be rich? And a bonus point I'm going to throw out there, please work on your English, please work on your communication. It does make a really big difference. The way people perceive you, the way people perceive how professional you sound, it makes a world of a difference. Yes, you can obviously work with an accent. You can obviously work with, if you sound like you're from Pakistan, that's okay, but always try to improve your English, always try to get better communication skills. If you can learn persuasion, if you can learn negotiation and communication skills, there is a vast array of doors that will open for you. When I was looking into my first job after graduation, I didn't have any recruiting experience, I didn't have any business experience. The reason I got hired was because I had communication experience and I was a public speaking coach. So I cannot recommend you more enough to work on your public speaking and communication skills. So in order to be successful, please surround yourself with people who are successful, who have the same ambitions you do, who have a very high ceiling of success. We're not partying all the time. They actually have some goals in life and they don't hold you back. Yes, you're going to have to say no to a lot of things, but that's what it takes to be successful. Number two, develop a skill set that is really needed by the market. What do people want? Business skills, sales skills, persuasion skills, lead generation skills. Again, depending on the industry, I'm just giving you vast examples here. Become good at something and become really good at something. Lastly, don't let your parents make decisions for you for the rest of your life. There has to be a point where you become self-sufficient. You realize, I'm good at this thing. I want to take risks myself. I want to do this thing instead of that thing because that's what I feel like I should do, not because that's what my parents want me to do. A lot of times, I remember when I was switching out of my MBA into my Master's of Education program, my dad was a little skeptical. He's like, how is this going to work? But he trusted me. He said, Yasser, I know what you're doing. Go ahead and do it. When COVID hit, I quit my job here, started my own business. My dad was like, are you kidding me? It's the middle of COVID. How can you quit your job? I'm glad I did because my income went from $40,000 to $150,000. Sometimes you have to have faith in yourself and just take the leap. And lastly, just try to work on your communication skills. You will never be too good at communication. You will never be too good at being better at talking to people. So relationship building and communication should be essential. I hope these helped out. I'm going to make a lot more videos about this as well because I'm an immigrant. I'm a person of color. I'm grown up in a Muslim country, and I feel like a lot of people here could use somebody as a role model to guide them, to give them some perspective, and there's nobody on YouTube making these videos. So I want to be that person making those videos. If you found this helpful, please let me know in the comment section and let me know what you'd like to see next, and I'll make more videos soon. See you in the next one.